underneath the police uniform. I'm just like you, a lover of laughter with dreams that grew. In every smile I share, a story unfolds, a reminder that compassion, it never grows old. Behind the badge, my heart beats the same, a melody of empathy, compassion, and fame. With every act of kindness, I'm trying to be that change, using my voice to break through the range. Underneath this uniform, I'm a human being with feelings and emotions, a story worth seeing through the triumphs and struggles, spreading love, hope, and the power of love. But a soul with a purpose, seeking no fame. Underneath this police uniform, I am real. I'm a woman of strength with love, nothing to keep behind in a secret, just love to reveal. Because underneath this police uniform, I am human, a woman, not the norm. I may wear satin and lace and pearls underneath, but here to heal, break the world's swirls. I fight the darkness to protect the weak. And in the line of duty, my compassion, it doesn't just peak, it lives and bleeds through the chaos. I find my grace. I think of being a warrior with love in every chase. The beneath part of being a police officer is that behind the badge, a heart beats strong, and I'm ready to mend what's been torn for so long, because with kindness as my weapon, I'll prevail. In the name of justice, I will lift the veils. I am love. I am truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I repay my karmic debt, it shall be fulfilled, because I am the change. And my only aim is to heal and not kill. I wanna heal and not kill. You see, I have a hard time explaining things sometimes, because most people don't see that power is an intoxication of the indoctrination, causing frustration from all the emotional suffocation. And that's why my beloved is constantly telling me, you must stay balanced and stay centered. Because every tear I wipe, every soul I save in this uniform, I don't want to be a hero engraved in a tombstone. I am human with kindness as my weapon. I keep saying, I am human underneath this police uniform.
Colores de mi tierra son los colores donde la brisa se mezcla, tierra de borinque, con el sonido del mar, donde nace la danza que mueve nuestro es un jardín florido, ya vengo yo, de mágico primo, ya vengo yo, un cielo siempre nítido, desfile de 12 y dan arrullos plácidos, las olas a sus pies, sus playas de colores, clamor lleno de admiración. Soy como el moriri. Ya vengo, cual linda flor de los campos que embellece mi país. Ya vengo yo, y si me ves por ahí, yo te brindaré mi encanto. Ya vengo yo, y si me ves por ahí, yo te brindaré mi encanto. Soy como el moribiri que muere y nace de nuevo. Típico como el coquí, como la yuca, la caña y el maní.
Soy jibarito con mi machete amolao, de decir a su caballo montado. Somos boricuas representando en todos lados. Llegaste a la cena, arroz con bacalao. Los colores de mi tierra,
los colores de mi tierra,
son los colores,
son los colores.
The colors of my island, the colors of my flag, the colors of my land. Coconut brown, blue green water,
Cookie,
turquoise waves, spiritual coquille, green plantains with the yuca, green shades.
Qué bonita bandera.
Tight bomba plena reminds us we are all blessed, we are all
Qué
free.
bonita bandera.
I hold my head up high, the colors of my land are deep within me.
Qué bonita
Land of happy
bandera,
people who are prosperous. Plantando bandera, my roots are very strong, no one can uproot them. I know who I am and where I come from. That's why I'm back in the land. The warrior red, the white for peace, the blue for our skies, the star representing the island. Don't forget the blue is for our ocean too. Los colores de mi tierra son los colores. Con mi frente en alto, voy cantando con la bandera en la mano. Dios, patria y libertad. Es rojo, guerrero, azul por el mar y el cielo. La estrella representa Borinquen y el blanco representa la victoria y la paz. De donde soy y donde vengo, mis raíces son muy fuertes. Mi tierra de gente alegre, raíces que no se puede arrancar. Las islas donde gente ama de verdad. De ahí vengo yo, de ahí vengo yo.
Ya vengo yo, ya vengo yo. Preciosa te llevo dentro, muy dentro de mi corazón. I'm Dr. Poetry, with Deaf Poetry. Por el mar y el sol, del mar y el sol.
Tourists, visitors from all around the world visiting the island of Borinquen. Honor the spiritual significance and cultural reverence for the coqui. The coqui is a sacred symbol of my island's heritage, the soundtrack of Borinquen, the heartbeat of the island. The coqui is sacred. Sacred.
Sacred.
You have been warned. Chucacayeke. 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 Kike. Chucacayeke. El coquique. Chucacayeke. Símbolo de la vida. Su canto. Llamada ancestral.
Ancestral.
En la noche oscura.
En la noche
vive
oscura.
En la naturaleza. Nuestra isla, el yunque, en las montañas puras, en la tierra que perdura, el coquí, símbolo de la esencia de Borinquen. New Yorkers se recuerdan de la santidad de nuestra tierra y el espíritu. Su canto, un llamado a la reverencia eterna. ¿Y mi abuela dónde está?
¿Dónde está?
Enterrada en Naguabo y en Mayagüez. Por lo tanto, soy boricua, por herencia y la sangre que fluye por mis venas. Y protejo mi gente y todo de aquí, por eso que hoy defiendo el coquí. Su presencia sagrada, el espíritu de mis raíces, ancestros que nunca debe ser violada. Yucacayeke, 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 Waricaya, coquí. I love the coquí. Waricá, coquí, guaqui. El coquí no es solo un sapito, sino un espíritu sagrado portador de la memoria ancestral y la protección divina. No permitamos que la ignorancia o la codicia lo destruyan. Su vida es un acto de reverencia, un símbolo de nuestra alma. Es el latido de nuestra isla. Borinquen, no dejen que los visitantes destruyen la canción de los ancestros taínos. Tourists of Borinquen, you have been warned through the sacred poetry. Respect the coquí, the Borinqen's heartbeat and soundtrack. Sing freely. Its life is sacred. It's a gift. Honor the land.
Honor the land.
Honor our ancestry. Preserve the coquí and its shrine.
Respect the culture.
Respect the sacred coquí. El coquí vive en la memoria y el destino.
Don't come to my land Thinking you gonna spray my coquille.
Chukakayeke, chukakayeke, keke, chukakayeke.
Don't come over here talking that they a nuisance.
It is the soundtrack of this island.
This is the ancestral DNA really literally going through the veins of each coquille in this island.
El Coqui vive.
It's Dr. Poetry and Death Poetry.
Cheesecake. Make sure you give her a call. Okay. You have your passport. Even though you don't need it, but just in case. You got your summer dress? Alright, let's go. Una mujer vestida de amarillo, bailando en la playa, sintiéndome en el brillo. Borinquen me llama y el sol brilla fuerte. Mojitos, margaritas, todo lo que se siente. Soy la linda señorita, flores en el cabello, sacudiendo malas vibras, dejando el desvelo. Dejo atrás el trabajo, un descanso merecido. En este paraíso, mi espíritu renacido. Bailo el ritmo del mar, mis caderas se mueven, la poesía está en mi alma, está en mi alma, en mi alma. Mis penas se disuelven, el viento acaricia, el sol me abraza y cada paso que doy, esa energía se desplaza. Because I'm the pretty señorita with flowers on my head.
Hey, Dr. Poetry. I'm packed and ready to go, delighted for the sun to kiss me with its continuous overflow. I'm on my way to Puerto Rico, better yet the island of Borinquen. Margaritas, beautiful beaches, sunlight, watching the beautiful sunset, wind blowing in between my thighs, this beautiful summer sundress, digging my toes in the sand, dancing, having the most fun, completely free. I'm on my way, girlie, to see the beautiful palm trees and listening to the sound of the coquilles. Oh, I can't wait to feel the breeze against my skin, dancing freely with no regrets in this beautiful summer sundress. I'm Miss Cheesecake, and I'm with Dr. Poetry.
Vestido amarillo, bailando en la playa, sintiéndome en el brillo. Borinquen me llama, el sol brilla fuerte, mojitos y margaritas. Todo lo que se siente, se siente. Taína, africana, española. Somos moras, forevermore. ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen? On Fifth Avenue, in New York City, 12 noon in the month of June, on the streets of New York, it transforms into Borinquen. ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen? Everyone's Boricua, and we all proudly parade. Taína, Africana, Española, Mora, Boricua. Our heritage is displayed, dancing and singing with our ancestors. ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen? Grace, elegance. I'm craving more congas and bongos. I wanna shake. ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen? The Atlantic Ocean where the sand and the skies blend. The food is so delicious. The flavorful aromas. Boricuas are brave souls on the island of Borinquen, and it runs deep. These roots run deep. We are Moors. Have you ever had some arroz moro? Have you ever walked through the morro? Amor, hay que vivir con alegría, y la moraleja detrás de la bandera borinqueña. Típico como el coquí, como la yuca, la caña y el maíz. You see, the blood is mixed, whatever that means. But we know that there's beauty in this beautiful, beautiful mixture. It's what makes us great. It's the real reason why we wave our flags of pride. You know, we were denied the ability to wave that flag. It was illegal at one point. So we wave it every time we want to. So we're celebrating this bouquet of hues. This beautiful bouquet of hues. We're urban country islands. Que viva Vieques, que viva Culebra. Las playas, pero qué linda, 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 qué bella. 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 Típico como el coqui, como la yuca, la caña y el mavi. Típico como el coqui, como la yuca, la caña y el mavi. You know, we summon our ancestors every other day, probably. ¿Y tu abuela dónde está? But this is what makes a flavorful crowd. Where's your grandmother at? And I just remember listening to the whispers of my ancestors. Escucho una voz que me dice, somos tus ancestros, bisabuelas de las bisabuelas, pues yo soy taína, yo soy africana, yo soy española, soy una mora, boricua, pero qué bonita, bonita bandera, de mi isla bonita, pero qué linda, la estrella del Caribe, pero qué linda, 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 qué bella. Pero qué linda, 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 qué bella. The white sandy beaches of flamenco. De ahí vengo yo, de ahí vengo yo. Pero qué linda, 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 qué bella.
¿Qué será de mi borinque?
Típico como el coqui, como la yuca, la caña y el mavi. Típico como el coqui, como la yuca, la caña y el mavi.
¿Qué será de mi borinque?
Somos boricuas, para que tú lo sepas. And I'm Dr. Poetry.
And those videos that we saw them dancing and having fun and sharing, that was a great, great, great image of what it looks like when everyone's waving the Boricua flag and everyone's dancing and you see the men and women in blue enjoying themselves. I love it. I was a little girl. I used to watch this. It just brought me a lot of memories to see them dance salsa, bomba, plena, and all the floats passing by. So it is happening on Sunday, June 8th on Fifth Avenue, starting at 11:30. And we just finished pretty much recording such wonderful, wonderful music and created a lovely, colorful, vibrant video sharing our patriotic songs of the island. And we're going to have a conversation about the law that protects the coquis, right? Our little national treasure, the tree frog. Recent situations have occurred on the island. It's a growing concern. So we're definitely going to have a conversation about that too. So we just saw the video of Boricua Parade, right? That is myself, Dr. Poetry, just expressing some floetic echoes, Floetry. But a big shout out to all those content creators that catch the NYPD and all the different police departments around the nation dancing and sharing their other side, right, behind the uniform. We're going to go into this video called Between Jersey and Borinquen by Deaf Poetry. But before we do that, I just want to just remind everyone that police officers in New York, particularly those from New York City, the police department in New York City, they play a significant role in the annual Boricua Parade, right? Their involvement, it comes from ensuring that public safety and all that actively participation in the festivities is actually it's connecting folks, right? But let's be honest, the NYPD is instrumental in maintaining security and during this parade. It's one of the largest cultural celebrations in New York City. I remember this as a child. Officers are deployed along the parade, as they're continually on the sides. It's to manage the crowd. It's crowd control, right? It's direct traffic and it's responding to the incidents that occur. You know how that happens. People start drinking, we get a little too passionate. But it's really to ensure a safe environment for all the attendees, right? Um, the NYPD's Mount unit is known for its visibility and crowd control capabilities. Often you see them dancing and participating as well, and adding to the ceremonial aspect of the event. But beyond their security duties, many NYPD officers, especially those of Boricua descent, right, actively march in the parade. And I see them dancing and even singing, as you can see in the videos that I played earlier, the little clips from TikTok. Just want to give a big shout out to all those TikTok content creators. You guys are doing wonderful. I love sharing your stuff. It's awesome. It helps us celebrate that rich cultural heritage of Boricuas, right? So we have to give an extreme, huge shout out to the NYPD for their involvement, right? Is often highlighted through social media posts, and this is why I was sharing those posts, because it's showcasing officers marching, dancing alongside the community members, right? The other Boricuas around there, and it just gives it a sense of unity and pride. But the little historical context and controversies, of course, are going to always happen. While the NYPD's presence is generally well received, there have been instances of controversy. In 2017, for example, the NYPD commissioner back then, James O'Neill, he chose not to march in the parade due to the organizers' decision to honor Oscar Lopez Rivera. They consider him a controversial figure associated with the Puerto Rican independence movement. We had covered Oscar Lopez's position over at the show, What in the Borinquen's Going On. Make sure you guys check that out. But the decision sparked a whole discussion about the intersection of politics, policing, and cultural celebrations. So overall, the participation of New York police officers in the Puerto Rican Day Parade, it kind of underscores the importance, the importance of cultural events when you're trying to kind of embrace the community relations. And it's supposed to highlight, right, multifaceted role of law enforcement in such a big event like that and other public gatherings. So be safe out there, because I know it gets crazy. So a big shout out to NYPD, to all the police officers working that event and all the different festivities, because it's not just Sunday. There's usually a lot of things. It's the 116 festival on Saturday. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. So I will say that. All right, let's get to between Jersey and Borinquen. Yes, we're going to keep it light today. It's Floetic Justice. I'm just here relaxing and just trying to recover. I have been a little under the weather, but I'm okay now. Big you. I give you a big love to all the viewers that are watching and those that are looking at our channel over at YouTube. Next week, I will have huge information about some of the things that are going on with myself as an officer. I would love to have those conversations with you guys, just so we can talk. All right? It's great to see you. This is Between Jersey and Borinquen by Def Poetry.
Between Jersey and Borinquen, in the heart of Camden, the streets is always moving with a rhythm. You hear that? You hear that? Old brick walls echo tales, a city's pulse within them. Steel and stone, like my ancestors' bones, hold the weight of history, of struggles and unknowns. The Delaware River whispers its waters deep and cold, reflecting dreams both new and old, where families fight to rise above, yet the scent of hope is thick with love. From Broadway's lights to the pier's dark shades, the struggle of survival, every penny made brick by brick. We build, we fall, we rise. Through every broken window, we dream with our eyes. And in the air, there's an echo of a song. From the island of Borinquen, where we belong, we carry the weight of both worlds. Fierce and strong from La Isla del Encanto, where our roots grow long. My culture's pride is deep like the Coquis call. We dance to the bomba, against the odds we stand tall. The flavors of adobo, sofrito hit in the pan, tastes like freedom, tastes like home. Out here the streets pulse with the heart of our kin, where Puerto Rican flags wave and the fight won't end. Like the sound of pleneros or the beat of the caja, our souls are a mixture of struggle and triumph. Here we speak Spanglish, and our voices are loud, a blend of two worlds, still unified in the crowd. We know what it takes. It's survival and thriving with each step we make. But in these streets, where pain meets joy, we hold the legacy from girl to boy, the culture, the love, the pride that we bring is the fire that burns in the song we sing. This is Deaf Poetry.
Los colores de mi tierra son los colores donde la brisa se mezcla, tierra de Borinquen, con el sonido del mar, donde nace la danza que mueve nuestro es un jardín florido, ya vengo yo, de mágico primo, ya vengo yo, un cielo siempre nítido, recibe de 12 y dan arrullos plácidos, las olas a sus pies, cuando a sus playas llegó Colón, exclamó lleno de admiración. Soy como el morir, ya vengo, cual linda flor de los campos que embellece mi país, ya vengo yo, y si me ves por ahí, yo te brindaré mi encanto, ya vengo yo, y si me ves por ahí, yo te brindaré mi encanto, soy como el moribiri que muere y nace de nuevo, típico como el coquí, como la yuca, la caña y el maíz.
Soy jibarito con mi machete amolao, de decir a su caballo montao. Somos boricuas representando en todos lados. Llegaste a la cena, arroz con bacalao. Los colores de mi tierra,
los colores de mi tierra,
son los colores,
son los colores.
the colors of my island, the colors of my flag, the colors of my land. Coconut brown, blue green waters,
Coqui,
turquoise waves, spiritual coquille,
coqui,
green plantains with the yuca, green shades,
qué bonita
tight bomba
bandera,
plena reminds us we are all blessed, we are all
qué
free.
bonita bandera,
I hold my head up high, the colors of my land are deep within me.
qué bonita
Land of happy
bandera,
people who are prosperous. Plantando bandera, my roots are very strong, no one can uproot them. I know who I am and where I come from. That's why I'm back in the land. The warrior red, the white for peace, the blue for our skies, the star representing the island. Don't forget the blue is for our ocean too. Los colores de mi tierra son los colores. Con mi frente en alto, voy cantando con la bandera en la mano. Dios, patria y libertad. Es rojo, guerrero, azul por el mar y el cielo. La estrella representa Borinquen y el blanco representa la victoria y la paz. De donde soy y donde vengo, mis raíces son muy fuertes. Mi tierra de gente alegre, raíces que no se puede arrancar. Las islas donde gente ama de verdad. De ahí vengo yo, de ahí vengo yo.
ya vengo yo, preciosa te llevo dentro de mi corazón. I'm Dr. Poetry, with Deaf Poetry. Me cantas por la noche tu linda canción.
Visitors
Tus notas me recuerdan un beso de amor.
visiting the
Coqui.
island of Borinquen. Honor the spiritual significance and cultural reverence for the coqui. The coqui is a sacred symbol of my island's heritage. The soundtrack of Borinquen. The heartbeat of the island. The coqui is sacred.
Sacred.
You have been warned. Yucacayeke. 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 El coquí, Yucacayeke, símbolo de la vida. Su canto, llamada ancestral.
Ancestral.
En la noche oscura, vive en la naturaleza.
El alma
Nuestra
se pasa y no quiere
el
viajar.
yunque,
Si
en las
sales de
montañas
casa ya
duras,
no puedo
en la tierra que
cantar.
perdura. El coquí, símbolo de la esencia de Borinquen. Nuyorican, se recuerdan de la santidad de nuestra tierra y el espíritu. Su canto, un llamado a la reverencia eterna. Y mi abuela, ¿dónde está?
¿Dónde está?
Enterrada en Naguabo y en Mayagüez. Por lo tanto, soy boricua, por herencia y la sangre que fluye por mis venas.
Las venas.
Y protejo mi gente. Y
Mi
todo de
gente.
aquí, por eso que hoy defiendo el coquí.
Coqui.
Su presencia
Coquí.
sagrada, el espíritu de
El
mis
coquí.
raíces. Ancestros
Coquí.
que nunca
Ancestral.
debe ser violada.
Ancestral.
Yucacayeke,
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 Coquí,
Waricaya,
Coquí,
Waricaya,
Coquí, Guaqui. El coquí no es solo un sapito, sino un espíritu sagrado portador de la
Coquí.
memoria ancestral y la
Ancestral.
protección divina. No permitamos que la ignorancia
Ancestral.
o la codicia
Ancestral.
lo destruya.
Ancestral.
Su vida es un acto de
Ancestral.
reverencia, un símbolo de
Coquí.
nuestra alma. Es el latido de nuestro
Coquí.
isla. Borinquen, no dejen que los visitantes destruyen la canción de los ancestros taínos. Tourists of Borinquen, you have been warned through the sacred poetry. Respect the coquí, the Borinquen heartbeat and soundtrack. Sing freely. Its life is sacred. It's a gift.
Gift.
Honor the land.
Honor the land.
Honor our ancestry. Preserve the coquí and its shrine.
Respect the culture.
Respect the sacred coquí. El coquí vive en la memoria y el destino.
Don't come to my land thinking you're gonna spray my coquilles.
Yucacayeke, yucacayeke, keke, yucacayeke.
Don't come over here talking that they a nuisance.
It is the soundtrack of this island.
This is the ancestral DNA really literally going through the veins of each coquille in this island.
El coquí vive.
It's Dr. Poetry and Deaf Poetry.
The coquí, please understand that the coquí, guajon, right, is protected under the Endangered Species Act, ESA, ESA, ESA. Federal agencies must consult with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service to ensure that their actions do not harm the species or its habitat. That's right. The law prohibits injuring, capturing, killing, destroying eggs, or modifying critical habitats of the coquí guajon. Violators can face penalties, especially if federal permits or funding are involved. Okay? You know how that goes. It's all about commerce sometimes. I know we're officers. Yes, we are, but we know what goes on. And the species were listed as they continue to be listed, but they started to be listed as threatened in 1997 in Borinquen here, after these tourists allegedly bragged. We say allegedly, but I don't really want to say allegedly because they wrote it. They didn't allegedly brag. They actually did write. They wrote in a little Reddit, a review or whatever. They were just commenting, and they were bragging and that they were silencing the coquí frogs by killing them, right? And that really sparked, you already know, a big conversation. And you guys heard it at over at the What in the Borinquen is Going On video that I love and I cherish. I really do, because when I started to write about this, I realized how much I truly love Borinquen. And I know this is Floetic Justice, but I want to have a conversation with everyone who's viewing us. I've been celebrating uh, Boricua pride, right? And all the contributions to uh, the mainland. And I want to just share with you guys when I was processing certain truths that I wasn't prepared for. And I want you to really, really listen to what I'm saying here. And I sound a little angry, but behind the uniform, I still believe that there are things that shouldn't be happening. I know for a fact when I read and I study and I do the research, I know there's a lot that we don't know about. There's so many things that we should know. And this is for you out there, right? Who loves to join the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Boricua Parade, who waves the flag and loves to say, Viva Puerto Rico, Viva Puerto Rico, yay, but doesn't know a thing about what really happened. Why should they know? Why should you know the truth? Because that way, you're not blindsided by why things are occurring today. Why are people interested? People, the government, folks, everyone. Why some of us are unaware of the Jones Act. Why some of us don't understand who Dr. Cornelius Dusty Packard Rhodes is. Why don't we know these things? Because this information is not going to be told in public Board of Education. Hell, you're not even probably going to hear it on when you're studying in undergrad. But you will find it because the documents are there. They're government files and PDFs. And it's important. This is no attempt to go against the country or anything like that. It's good to know what happened to the people of Borinquen and what Floetic justice, and I call it Floetic justice, is because the only type of justice I take at times is to say the truth. The universal principles teach us about love, peace, right? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I find all those things when I write my poetry. I created this show. I created Hear Me Out Poetry because I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to explain it. But I knew there was something inside of me that needed to be highlighted in writing. There were thoughts, feelings, right? Emotions when I would read about certain things that didn't sit well with me. And so, yes, I won't take justice in my own hands and go do anything to cause any calamity or chaos. Well, I want to be the change. So I became a police officer. And even becoming a police officer, I realized there were a lot of things that were not sitting well with me. 18 years of law enforcement, I've seen a couple of things, especially on the island of Borinquen, because that's where I serve. And when we know that on the island there's a lot of, political indifferences, well, Borinquen is not currently truly defined. It's not a state. It's not independent. It's a commonwealth, aka colony. So all those things brought me to want to research a lot more of why. And why are they calling the independent party terrorist? I remember even marching in Washington, D.C. with my sister Jessie back in the day. I took a flight over to Washington, D.C. when I was over at Brooklyn College, City University of New York, before I transferred over to Missouri Southern State. And I remember saying to myself, I don't like that they're bombing Vieques. I don't like that the United States is having bombing practices, in Vieques. That's wrong. They're killing the people. And I did my research. Mind you, truthfully speaking, I have never been to Vieques. But the fact that that was happening, I wanted to say something. So we took a flight over to Washington, D.C., and we were protesting. We were against it. I remember I had the nice big, sign that said, stop the bombing Vieques and stuff. And of course, I remember Al Sharpton went there and everything. Now, I wasn't getting arrested or doing anything like that. But I was in there saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, the USA has to go, right? I say all that to say this. When you're given the opportunity to share information, even if you don't quite understand it yet, because you shouldn't share if you don't understand it. That's why I create poetry, because I'm processing the information. I'm processing that Borinquen is not for sale. I'm processing how is it that I didn't know who Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes. I'm processing about why would someone kill a coquí. And you're a visitor on an island. Why wouldn't you study these things, right? It's easy to process watching police officers dance. It's easy to process when you see a police officer not do the right thing. And it's easy to process laws that are being questioned if they are actually laws. Why is easy? Because we see injustice immediately. So I want to share with you certain poems, spoken words, floetic echoes, it's the genre I created. Floetic echoes, you hear different types of echoes coming in and out of it. And I want you to really listen, okay? You don't have to say you like or not. But I like to think I'm sharing information and you will be able to process like I had to. I was processing. All right? I really truly encourage you to do this, to do some studying, because I am still studying. I'm still learning. I don't want to conflate the truth. There's only one truth. And I really want you to listen.
Dar con paciencia una esclavitud denigrante. Estamos aburridos de la presencia de un despotismo y de todos sus símbolos. Nos da asco la presencia de hombres y mujeres que pretendan asumir autoridad en nuestra patria sin recibir el nombramiento de Puerto Rico. Estamos cansados de todo eso. Y estamos en la resolución de desafiar definitivamente toda esa tiranía. Aquí tenemos toda esta niñez llena de gloria, toda esta juventud llena de valor, todas estas damas llenas de belleza y que llevan en sus entrañas toda la grandeza de nuestra patria. Aquí venimos nosotros con la generosidad en los actos sublimes de heroísmo y de sacrificio que han de consagrar la independencia de Puerto Rico.
The wicked and the rich get richer, but who's poor? Wicked man's perspective in life is that's his playground and there's no room for us. Strategically infiltrate banks, infrastructures, news forums, indoctrinating tactics is not fruitful for the youth's food source. Don't be fooled by the quote-unquote great man that colonized the Tainos in his great land, their escape land, and ironically enough, today, their wasteland.
You know, Puerto Rico, it may be for sale, but Borinquen is not.
It's not.
We are more than a rich port, because that's just commerce. We are Moors, aboriginals of this island. We Boricuas were here first. Before the business transactions, the math behind all the unlawful infractions, we are Boricuas. We are more than victims of United States colonialism. Rentier capitalism wreaking havoc on our island. The corrupted native officials provoking a wave of hatred against their own people. Land over finance. Cause Boricua stems from Borinquen, the name given to the island by the indigenous Taínos. They inhabited the island long before the arrival of the Spanish in 1493. And that was long before when we were free. Initially, Columbus called the island San Juan Bautista, then changed it to Puerto Rico, or Rich Port. When the Spaniards realized the impressive amount of gold found in its rivers, oh man, how they chopped off my ancestors' hands if they returned with no gold. And that shit fills me up with rage, shivers and rage. The more we respond to the name Puerto Rico, we are still in a mental cage. We are still enslaved. We are Boricuas, pa' que tú lo sepa, is more than just a cultural shout out to the culture. It's a reminder to those who still call us rich ports, to the business side hustlers, to the United States vultures. We are more than just rich ports. We are brave lords, Boricuas. If they cannot understand, they cannot comprehend, we are from the home of the brave lords. The island is called Borinquen. Puerto Rico may be for sale, but Borinquen stands on the universal principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and we will prevail. And I know that I may be just a bit too bold because of my position, but there's no difference. Because look at how Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos, who truly died for the freedom and the mission. So light a candle for the souls who fought. The name Puerto Rico was given to Borinquen to release us from our birthrights to the land as an incorporated territory, truly another LLC for the United States commerce interest in an island so strategically located in the Atlantic Sea. So ask yourself why the IRS moved to Borinquen. Why did the IRS move to Borinquen? That's a good question. But why? Why did the IRS move to Puerto Rico, conducting internal revenue services, a private company imposing floating and Federal Reserve notes that conduct business, and the Jones Act increasing taxes, maritime law, corruption like you've never seen before. We are Boricuas and we are not for sale. A rich port business under the name Puerto Rico will not change the truth that we are Borinquen and we are here to stay regardless of how many times you change our name. Honor our freedom. Honor our knowledge. We are Moors, Aboriginals, brave lords of the island of Borinquen, and we are not giving in on your business propaganda and propositions. We are Boricuas, and Borinquen is our home. It is not your story to tell with false statements and fraudulent tales. Boricuas will defend Borinquen, and Borinquen is not for sale. I'm Dr. Poetry with Deaf Poetry. Borinquen is not for sale. Do you know who's Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes? Do you know? In the 1930s, a fact so vile, Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes, corrupted hands defiled, injected cancer cells, disparaging the Puerto Rican people, dividing no reconciled, funded by the Rockefeller Institute, carpetas, files, compiled, and Boricuas, their trust was misused and abused. Human rights violated, yet he was adored and acknowledged while the Puerto Rican human rights were refused. And all the hidden truth revealed in a letter handed over to Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos, revealing Dr. Dusty Rhodes' intention to exterminate the Boricua population. But Times Magazine recognizing him for his work in cancer research, calling it a legacy. While lives were killed and misused, do you know who's Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes? Cause he created horror scenes, a hidden guise, and hid behind a white coat with his fake ass dreams. Taking lives, no consent, keeping lethal secrets, injecting cells, cancer's hell. Puerto Rican souls fell, funded by those with old wealth, playing God with poor health, degrading the Boricua's way of living, knowing the truth of their hard work, their hard weight, their ways of being, yet he called them lazy, killing them silently, then openly admitting in a letter he wrote, not knowing Dr. Campos will end up reading it. A hidden beast Dr. Dusty Rhodes acknowledged for cancer research with a funded feast, injecting lies beneath the skin while Puerto Ricans fought to be free. And Rockefeller His money, the Rockefeller's money, causing grief. To think how many of us couldn't wait to see that fucking Rockefeller Christmas tree. You see, so many of us are unaware that our trust was betrayed in addition to this medical despair. Injecting cancer cells, pure evil schemes stripped away of his honor and an award thanks to Katz, a chemist at Yale University. See, it seems that Puerto Ricans were never given an apology. Only suffering, silencing our screams. In addition, women were also used as guinea pigs to the extreme. Human experimentation with birth control. Read the historical dark pages. There's plenty of documentations and confirmations of nightmares. While some still want to be part of this American dream, it's an American scheme so cold. I ask you, do you know who's Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes? Cause his lies were disguised with chemotherapy research and cancer cells. How the misery of my people continues to be exposed. Evil unfolds. We need to keep telling the truth. Cause they keep saying it was science and progress. Que cabron with his lies beyond hate. That motherfucker was bold, dark chapters, hidden wrath. But this is the truth we must continue to expose. Can you hear my ancestors protest? Can you hear their cries? I hear their screams, the chemical warfare test. This unconscionable, based on the cheap availability of human beings. Soldiers manipulated, exploited, and betrayed. Research the research. This doesn't only happen in the USA. Silent assassinations with human experimentations on the island of Puerto Rico. So ask your children. Ask your children, ask your friends, ask your neighbor. Do you know who's Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes? Do you know? Can you hear my ancestors protest? Can you hear their cries? Screams. The chemical warfare test. This is unconscionable. Yeah, he called it research. He called it progress. He called it science. I will never look at a Rockefeller Christmas tree ever again. Do you know who's Dr. Cornelius Packard Dusty Rhodes? Que viva Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos. I'm Dr. Poetry. This is a tribute to Africa, to the Moors, everywhere. We are all Moors. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. I have a passion for the Afro beats. As I recite my poetry on these stereo streets, the guitar, the drums, the sax, and all that resonates my sympathetic gap. Afrobeats have me moving my hips uncontrollably. Ooh, I'm feeling these Afrobeats. No shade, but only admiration for Africa and all the Moorish nations. I'm a Moor. We are Moors. I'm simply embracing this intricate genre as I have always honored the motherland, Africa. Borinquen, Quisqueya, and all of us that come from the land. That's right. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. Iata ayoyo, iata. Iata ayoyo, iata. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. Ashe. You know, we're always speaking about where we're really from. Well, we've been here, and all that know that the land is ours. We're from here, we're all Moors. But I want to take the time to say that I love Africa. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. Viva Borinquen, viva Quisqueya, viva todos que están en la tierra. It's Dr. Poetry, and I love Afrobeats.
A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. A mí lo que me gusta es el ritmo de África. Y ata, ayoyo, y ata.
I'm Dr. Nationality is the order of the day. At least that's what I know. And I often hear my baby Doc Bay say, the mirror is in your face. Therefore, with reluctancy, at first and now willingly, I face the reality. And what does that even look like? It looks like me taking full accountability, no longer existing in fallacy. I mean, how am I supposed to proclaim my nationality if I didn't even notice how I was hidden in the shadows? You know, my strawman identity. You see, exiting the money game matrix, me matri, connecting to the matri. I know I want to live in my living natural me operating in private me, not the public strawman me, the one that surrendered all her rights for some crumbs called privilege. I signed the nature of me participating, pledging my life to function as a debtor when I was really the creditor, dishonoring my ancestors for artificial constructs called corporations for a fraudulent nation. The dead cannot bury the dead. The fact that all of this has been in society for 100 years, keeping me distracted in many forms of entertainment, and I'm not paying attention. Shit, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I'm not exempt. There's no justification. Yet I chose to believe the banksters that created the educational systems, calling me a bastard with a just over broke mentality. The J-O-B, it's all about commerce. But I have to change my mindset first. So I need to study in understanding what proclamation truly means to me. After my declaration, me, the living life, natural me who never functioned in this society, there's no place for me in this society. And I'm not asking you or anyone for permission. This is my proclamation. Proclamation. I'm communicating unambiguously, putting this on public record, standing through affidavit, talking to the system, standing on law, no longer in dishonor but in honor, placing a lien on my damn straw man. Any liabilities or suits that are addressing me, take the charge of this dead man's straw man and transfer that debt to my unlimited credit. Legal versus lawful. It's awful to see how I was played and manipulated with the legalese. Here's to taking accountability while I begin the process to proclaiming my nationality. I'm Dr. Poetry.
Well, what I'm speaking about there is that we know that the island of Borinquen became Puerto Rico. And I am not a rich port. I'm a Boricua. When we say Boricua, I think a lot of people, they have these images of us being in the club or hanging out in front of the block or just being in the city streets in the urban areas, you know, thugging it out and being in those neighborhoods and just saying, I'm a Boricua. But, it's a lot deeper than that. And so the only way we can do that is by correcting our status to understand who you really are. And it's deep. I don't want to get too much into that today because today I really wanted to make this about having some type of reflection. You know, you have to reflect and go back to why we even celebrating the parade, right? Do we even know what's going on? Are we there? You know, um, I'm going to play this video. It's totally nothing to do with this, but it has a lot to do with this nostalgic feeling of being in New York City. This is the Floetic Echo created by myself and Deaf Poetry. If you notice in the video, there's like a little flyer on the floor. And in my New York City days, when I was a young girl going out, preparing for the festivities like many of you are out in the city, I noticed there was a flyer and it had the Puerto Rican flag on it because everybody was out there getting those flyers so that you can be front and center celebrating in the what they used to call clubs and stuff like that, and for all the festivities. And I remember, I think it's the Octagon or something like that. behind the uniform. This is what we're talking about. This is Floetic justice. And I really, really, truly hope you enjoy this. It was done out of love. The beat brought me back to something. And, we love to dance. This is why we share that. We share that video where you see all the police officers dancing and moving and having fun. Well, that's what we're talking about. All right. We can get serious, but we could also, share what we do when we just chilling. Can we talk? I mean, come on. This is I Remember.
There's something about this beat that keeps reminding me of my New York City dreams. I remember I was only 17, literally a dancing queen. Forever young, I thought I'll be. 'Cause I remember living rent-free obsessively. I remember if someone had never pretending to be. Oh, I remember someone I'm not instead I choose to see. I remember I want my loving energy.
Yeah, dead in the middle of the boogie, we was younger playing hooky like Bonnie and Clyde, they better book me. Those were the days, all fun and games, skipping the fair, catching the train the way it took me.
How I remember.
Step through the city in these Harlem nights, all the lights had me feeling like my game tight like Ray Rice with the Scarlet Knights. I used to roll the dice, gamble with my life with so many things I never thought twice. Tony eyes used to get mad from the block parties and the riff-raff, leaving all the trash in the gift bag, drop it off, leave it on the stoop while we ran off and laughed in cahoots. All fun and games till the gig is over, bumping Criminal Minds till the bridge is over. I remember the battle ciphers gathered in Crotona in Africa, but Mata really showed us how to master the track. Not only that, but how to master your path. I could never break dance, but I mastered my craft. Getting my hands on Paid in Full was a classic to have. And the rhyme goes on, I perfected the jam, blending some jazz with some boogaloo. From one into another on the tables, yelling copy cool. Remember, like it's out the blue, deja vu. This ain't a dream if it happened to you.
There's something about this beat that keeps reminding me of my New York City dreams. I was only 17, literally a dancing queen, forever young. I thought I'd be forever young. I remember it's the boogie down breeze, chasing after my favorite Mr. Softy ice cream. I remember those barbecues. Oh, how I remember. Orchard Beach. Yeah, I remember. There's something about this beat. I remember those block parties. There's hip hop playing from the DJ speakers. There's something about this beat that keeps reminding me. City dreams. There's something about this beat that keeps reminding me. I remember. Boogie down breeze. Oh, how I remember. New York. Summer dreams in New York City.
Summer dreams of New York City. I remember. This is a big, big love and kiss to all my New Yorkers out there and all the ladies and men in blue. Be safe out there. I have one more Floetic echo. It is the reason why I do poetry, right? It's called Poesía. It talks about language. Of course, we're going to talk about poetry. All right. It's been really fun. I will see you next week. We're going to talk about a couple of issues that are going on that I want to bring to light. I want to share with you. You can reach us over at hearmeoutpoetry.com, www.hearmeoutpoetry.com. You could reach us over as well at 787-401-9965. And if you want to email us, you can email us at hearmeoutpoetry7@gmail.com. Okay? We love you. Please be safe out there. And this is Poesía by Dr. Poetry.
Poesía. Poetry. Greek meaning poesía. I create, yo creo, conveying love, at times some anger, lyrical yet magical methods of manifestations. I love it. a way of remembering, holding on to memory. Preservation is called poetry. Predating literacy in many languages, 9 elements of poetry. Alliteration, assonance, consonants, figurative language, poetry. I love the imagery. Rhyme with me, feeling the rhythm, sometimes bongos, but today cover me. I'm going in with drums and violins. I'm Dr. Poetry. I dance while I write a stanza, choosing wisely my tone, bailando el son, escuchando la clave. Each feeling the recentering rapidly to the movement of my pen as I express my thoughts through poem. What many refer to poetry, but was Latin really derived from the Romans? Negative, it's from the Phoenicians. Latin realmente no derivó de los romanos. After all, aren't we all hermanas y hermanos? Honors to all languages as we keep creating. We may all be speaking, but are we really communicating? I see you over there playing investigator all in my hair, pero yo no me ha muerto para que me estén velando. Entiendo lo que estoy falando, mi filia. Fica con calma, nene. No fica así, no. No fica con rabia, no. No one is shaming you for speaking different languages that connect us all. There's always truth in the lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency. But for me, it's the ability to express my thoughts in several languages. After all, the point of it all is to connect and not disconnect. Protection for the connection. Embrace my affection. In poética dieri, soy doctora poesía, soy la doctora poesial. Oh, ¿qué aconteció como lengua latina? Ella es extinta. What happened to the Latin language? Is it extinct? Is it dead? Está muerto. Que un mergulano inició de latín. ¿El donde veo? ¿De dónde vino? Phoenician derived, said the Romanos. So they added TIC to create a romantic language of French, Romanian, Spanish, and Portuguese. There's always truth in a lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency to embrace all dialects, accents that beautifully remind us of our diversified ancestry. Poesia sounds like a lot, right? I love it. Speaking Latin, Portuguese, and Spanish, but where did it come from? Phoenician. No one is shaming you for speaking different languages. Ninguém tá falando mentira, minha filha. Fica com calma, neném. Da mão não fica assim, não. There's always truth in the lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency. Frequency. Ninguém me está aborgando você por falar diferente. A linguagem que nos conecta a todos. Yo amo poesía con toda mi alma. Poesía. Feel free to hate on me. I'm Dr. Poetry.
Batch of Pearls was created with the wisdom from time and experience. Like a pearl, takes years to form. It comes from the constant effort and time an oyster puts into changing something painful into a beautiful and bearable outcome. My wisdom comes from time and effort, invested in learning from mistakes and turning them into something positive. Pearls teach us to use unavoidable pain to gain insight and create beauty. I'm Dr. Poetry.
When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods and divisions. Golden living dreams of visions. Mystic crystal revelation in the mind's true liberation. That is the age of Aquarius.
Agua fluye, amor nos une, amor nos une. I'm Dr. Poetry. Luz intensa, esperanza, esperanza.
Welcome to the age of Aquarius, where not only water flows, but most of all knowledge flows. We have no other option but to grow. The mind expands, love unites us, and our desires to challenge those ancient lies willingly grows. New ideas shine brightly, and it doesn't always look pretty. But hope is reborn, firm and extensive. All social constructs and false narratives are elegantly torn diligently in this era of change and freedom. Change and freedom.
The age
Major Aquarius.
I'm Dr. Poetry.
Feels like my conscience is free. Like knowledge just flows in the current.
Underneath the police uniform, I'm just like you. A lover of laughter with dreams that grew. In every smile I share, a story unfolds. A reminder that compassion, it never grows old. Behind the badge, my heart beats the same. A melody of empathy, compassion, and fame. With every act of kindness, I'm trying to be that change. Using my voice to break through the range. Underneath this uniform, I'm a human being with feelings and emotions. A story worth seeing through the triumphs and struggles. Spreading love, hope, and the power of love. But a soul with a purpose, seeking no fame. Underneath this police uniform, I am real. I'm a woman of strength with love. Nothing to keep behind in a secret. Just love to reveal. Because underneath this police uniform, I am human. A woman, not the norm. I may wear satin and lace and pearls underneath, but here to heal. Break the world's swirls. I fight the darkness to protect the weak. And in the line of duty, my compassion, it doesn't just peak, it lives and bleeds through the chaos. I find my grace. I think of being a warrior with love in every chase. The beneath part of being a police officer is that behind the badge, a heart beats strong, and I'm ready to mend what's been torn for so long, because with kindness as my weapon, I'll prevail. In the name of justice, I will lift the veils. I am love. I am truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I repay my karmic debt, it shall be fulfilled, because I am the change. And my only aim is to heal and not kill. I wanna heal and not kill. You see, I have a hard time explaining things sometimes, because most people don't see that power is an intoxication of the indoctrination, causing frustration from all the emotional suffocation. And that's why my beloved is constantly telling me, you must stay balanced and stay centered. Because every tear I wipe, every soul I save in this uniform, I don't want to be a hero engraved in a tombstone. I am human with kindness as my weapon. I keep saying, I am human underneath this police uniform.